Hello, welcome to the New Stack Makers, a podcast where we talk about at-scale application development, deployment, and management. Hey, it's Alex Williams, the New Stack, for the second day of CloudNativeCon, KubeCon Berlin. And I'm here with Abby. Abby, how are you?
Fabulous, Alex. How are you?
Abby of the Cloud Foundry Foundation, Executive Director.
Judy is never going to forgive me from starting this yesterday.
How are you?
Fabulous.
You came to this event here in Berlin. It's not a Cloud Foundry event, but there's an increasing connection, I think, between different communities that I'm starting to see. And I'm thinking of, the first thing I think about is a Service Broker API.
Yes, that is a crowning achievement from 2016.
So what is that connection with the Cloud Native Computing Foundation that the Service Broker API, promises?
Well, I think it promises a lot of things. What is the one thing you care about as a developer that's creating apps? You need services, be it database or messaging services or APM or continuous delivery or CI/CD tools. All of those things make your apps valuable and useful and allow you to get them out the door. And so services is a key component of that, irrespective of the platform. And our goal with the Open Service Broker effort last year was to really pull multiple communities and multiple platforms and multiple projects together on a single standard approach to the way you attach services to a platform, and thereby really offering an opportunity for us to get more services to the table and really drive that ecosystem and drive those capabilities and push that innovation forward. So
just to back up a little bit, can you just give us a 10,000-foot look at the Service Broker API, what it is?
Well, the Service Broker API is actually beautiful in its simplicity. It's very simple. It's an API that allows you to create, bind, unbind, and delete a service. It's a very simple abstraction for services. But the beauty in that simplicity is that it's flexible, so it allows you to modify how that service is connected and really derive a tremendous amount of value out of it. And for developers, it's giving them an access to services that they can self-provision and automate. And for operators, it gives them an opportunity to really put in controls and guardrails, as well as outcomes that you would like to see from that service. So there's a tremendous amount of potential on both sides.
One of the things that I've been really interested in, and it actually kind of like speaks to the first, the first times I had a chance to sit down with Sam Ramsey, right? And
I've heard of him.
You've heard of him. And it was around 2007, 2008, 2009, I'd say. And it followed the rise of Twitter, really Twitter as, Twitter becoming almost like an API in itself. It spoke, that was an era where it spoke to the rise of cloud services, right? And I remember having these conversations with Sam and other people about loosely coupled systems.
Yes.
And this whole concept of loosely coupled systems and how that really was going to be what determined, the success of different applications. It seems like the loosely coupled approach is really embodied in the Service Broker API.
Absolutely, because the more attribution you put into something and the more you try to pack in there, it all of a sudden becomes bigger and more complicated and more complex and starts locking you into specific behaviors. And so by making it lightweight, making it flexible, and making it easy allows you to have a lot of room to make variations to it, but not be locked in to something that is hard to move or hard to change.
Excellent. So what are you doing at this event? What is taking your time? How are you feeling your time here? Who are you meeting with? What are you talking about? What are some of the things that you're bringing from the Cloud Foundry perspective to to this CloudNativeCon, KubeCon event.
Well, I get to hang out with you, Alex, so I always call that a
That
win.
is true.
I call that a win. No, it's always great to come to CloudNativeCon and the CNCF event because there is a tremendous amount of opportunity and collaboration between our two communities and our projects.
So specifically tell me what is the opportunities that you see?
Well, I'm a big believer in cloud and cloud native, and I think combining the two efforts between Cloud Foundry and CNCF, and then even OCI, there's an opportunity to really build a huge momentum around cloud native and enabling enterprise users to become much more cloud native and adopt cloud native practices. And at the end of that, I think we all win, and we're all able to build on that and innovate. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that I believe is the most powerful about open source, and the Open Service Broker API initiative really reinforced that for me, is the potential for cross-project, cross-communities, people to come together and really, truly innovate on something.
So tell me, give me some, if you can speak to any specifics, such as how do Cloud Foundry and Kubernetes intersect?
Right now, through a couple of ways. We've found many organizations that are running Kubernetes and Cloud Foundry because it's all about the right tool for the right job. And so the Open Service Broker API allowed that portability of services across platform and that connective tissue there. And then with the work Pivotal did recently with Google to put Kubernetes on BOSH, the Kubo effort,
right,
really helps also extend that for many users who are trying to figure out how to run both.
That's interesting.
It's super interesting.
Yeah, so that BOSH story and how it can help and how it kind of like can be used across the different platforms.
Yeah.
So a user really could then potentially you'd be working on a loosely coupled system, so to speak, that would allow them to work on BOSH across Cloud Foundry and Kubernetes.
In theory, that's what we're working to test out.
But why would they do that? I guess it just comes down to specific use cases.
Specific use cases, specific workloads. I mean, not every workload is, destined for Cloud Foundry, and there are some interesting R&D initiatives and work that many companies are doing at interesting scale where they need that differentiation, they need that separation. There's an opportunity to leverage both. I think there's an opportunity for both offerings to be successful and innovative and working together in a single environment.
What's an R&D effort that comes to mind that, you don't have to name any specific company, but I'd be curious on the type of R&D efforts that you're speaking of.
I would say interesting stuff around machine learning, analytics, stuff that if you're a large organization that's been investing in a lot of these technologies for years and maybe are running this stuff now in containers and are looking for an opportunity to manage just the containers and are focusing a little bit less on the developer engagement, the developer experience, but more about managing these containers for these initiatives at scale, I can see the opportunity for both, right? Where you're running some workloads on Cloud Foundry and really enabling the developer experience, but you're also leveraging, the value of containers and that orchestration capability that Kubernetes brings to manage some of these other initiatives.
Which, big data projects, and which
big
can
data, machine learning, AI, or maybe you just have a lot of legacy stuff that you're putting into containers.
Right. Okay. So there's also, I know, an effort on Cloud Foundry's part to, reach more developers, like we're all trying to do, and having and looking at the way that developers are using programming languages, for example. What does that mean to you? When you think about that.
Developers, right?
We won't pull out the video.
And I refuse to run around in a sweatsuit shirt too. But I think it's important because one of the things that we all talk about implicitly and explicitly is digital transformation, right? Where all of these companies are becoming software companies that were not traditionally technology focused are now interested in becoming software companies. And what's at the heart of that? what do you need to be a software company? You need developers. And so developers are really at the heart of where we're going next. They're the ones that are enabling these businesses to transform and for them to do new and innovative things with applications. And that's the power of the developer. And that's really what we focused on as far as Cloud Foundry, because at the end of the day, Cloud Foundry is there to help developers develop code faster.
Right.
That's the focus.
Right.
And so we have really been talking a lot about that developer experience and continuing to improve that, while also bringing together a lot of the developer language communities to our events to bridge that and really make our events a home for developers to learn more about Cloud Foundry, but also more about their languages, their communities, and then how to really adapt more cloud-native application architecture practices.
Does that relate to the certification program at all?
Yes, it does.
How so?
Well, the certification, the training and the certification.
That was just backing up. The Cloud Foundry just announced the certification program. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about it as well.
We announced the beta release yesterday of the Cloud Foundry Developer Training and Certification Program. And the training will have a couple of different options. One, you can, for free, take the massive open online course that's just a quick intro on Cloud Foundry and an overview. Or you can embark upon the 4-day training course that's offered either web-based training or it can be classroom-led because we're licensing the content. And that 4-day training course will allow you as a developer to learn more about Cloud Foundry, the lexicon, how it works, how to deploy on it, how to configure it, and how to configure it securely. But it also will teach you cloud native best practices, like how to do CI/CD and automation with Cloud Foundry. And it'll also really point out cloud native application architecture best practices. So really taking advantages of 12-factor applications and how to build and architect apps and deploy apps that take advantage of all the cloud features.
So this is helping those companies really along this road to, being more developer oriented.
Exactly, because and then the certification culminates at the end of that, really giving people an opportunity to say, hey, I've passed this. And for organizations that are trying to become software company, they're trying to hire as quickly as possible. And they're asking, how do I know who the right people are? Where do I go? If I'm looking for not just developers, but maybe developers that are that understand how cloud native best practices work. Where do I go? What do I do? And also, hey, I've been writing code, but now I need to scale that out more. I need more talent. I need more people. And hey, maybe I want to train those people up. I need something to help me reach those people that I have in my current, that I have in my current organization and my company. And I really want to enable people to learn more about cloud native. And so this gives them an opportunity to train, as well as find and build a pipeline. And then for developers, because we are focusing on the Cloud Foundry, so we're focusing on the open source aspect of Cloud Foundry.
Yeah.
It gives you, as a developer, portable skills. So now I'm trained on Cloud Foundry, not a particular distribution or a particular provider. I now have skills that are portable around Cloud Foundry and Cloud Native that I can then, I have options now.
That ties things together then.
Yes. So it's a positive sum game for both developers and organizations.
And I guess the Service Broker API fits into that story.
Absolutely, because as we start creating more applications, we need more services. And also I see services as a real area of innovation going forward as companies really decide to invest more strongly in technology and applications that are differentiating for them and not necessarily focusing on recreating the wheel. So
that's going to be a core focus, and I guess for you this year and going forward, I expect.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Great. So, just in conclusion, what's coming up? There's the there's the big cloud native computing, the Cloud Foundry Summit coming up in Santa Clara.
Sunny Santa Clara, June 13th through 15th.
That's
Cloud Foundry Foundation Summit.
Excellent.
Biggest party in town this summer.
Biggest party in town. Then we'll have pancakes.
We'll have pancakes.
We'll have a pancake robot.
Pancake robot, some music. It's going to be a fun time. We've changed the venue up, or changed the event up quite a bit, and are really looking to make this a fun place where people can come, share ideas, and build a community.
Well, I look forward to it.
Good, me too. I'm so excited.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for joining us, for another conversation. We've had conversations almost all over the world, I think, We haven't had a conversation in Asia yet. We'll have to figure that out.
We will have to figure that out.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us here, and have a great show.
Thank you. You too.
Listen to more episodes of the NewStack Makers at thenewstack.io/podcasts. Please rate and review us on iTunes, like us on YouTube, and follow us on SoundCloud. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.